What's up, YouTube? First and foremost, shout out to all my subscribers. Keep running those likes up and dropping comments. If you're new here, please comment and hit the like button. And if you are subscribed, of course, hit the like button and drop a comment. I do respond to 99.9% of my comments. If you don't know what to put, a smiley face, a thumbs up, an emoji, a W, two W's, it's all good. It really does help push my videos out. I know that you guys know that, but by me bringing it up, it actually helps to remind you to do that. And I want to thank you guys for that. Real quick as well, my Cash App's the same as my YouTube name, AlienAscend. If you want to donate or support, show love, bless me, much appreciated. Not on here begging, but I do throw that out there. I'm gonna go ahead and jump straight into this video. And I guess if this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, I am homeless. I do live in my car. I've been living in my car for quite some time. I do have a video with a full story of how I became homeless, and so if you like this content, subscribe and check out some of my videos. That'd be cool. Over 1,000 subscribers still. That's totally awesome. I'm growing really quick. At least it seems quick to me, which is really cool. Still got to wait about 2 weeks until I lose the limitations on going live. I already went live once, so if you guys can subscribe, if you're not subscribed, subscribe now. And I do plan on going live a whole lot. Evidently, my cell phone internet is good enough to go live, but there's gonna be some times where I'm gonna be doing it at a friend's house, so I can actually connect to a better Wi-Fi and talk and chop it up with you guys. I'm gonna jump into this video. It's homeless. What do my friends and family think? So I think I've touched on it before. However, I do want to make a full long video talking about this, and I'll be talking about a lot of stuff. So rock with me on it. I guess throw out there first, what do my friends and family think? Some of my friends think that I should go back to truck driving, just like you guys think. Some of them actually understand what happened, when I was truck driving, doing regional out here. In fact, a couple of my friends knew some other drivers at the same place that I worked at. When I first came out here, basically, I'm trying to think, trying to explain things without throwing somebody's name out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to say the company's names. I don't feel comfortable doing that. However, where I on 2 different occasions where I had firearms pulled out on me and things were really bad, and I had a dispatcher that was a half a second away from me beating the crap out of him. I had to tell him to move out of my way. I had no place to walk away from. I got a couple friends who knew some people that worked there as well that were also drivers, and then some of the forklift people who actually loaded the trucks as well. And they heard stories, and they confirmed the same stuff that I said. Like they were really crappy, and how they treated people, and they were very toxic and everything else. So for those friends, they understand what I went through. Some of them were like, damn, they probably thought that like those people, some of my friends probably think that the people who pulled out firearms on me are lucky to be alive. That's for sure. And that's what they think. I'm not saying what I think. I think I handled everything very well, and I'm glad that I didn't get shot, and that I didn't end up hurting somebody else either. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know about that video, you could, I believe, why I quit truck driving. So if you wanted the full story of that, check out why I quit truck driving, and I actually go into detail about that stuff. But first, rock with me on this. So some of my friends, and just my friends, some of them think that I should go back to truck driving, and they think that that things will be different if I went to a mega carrier and if I went to OTR, which is over the road. And I think about that as well. I'm not 100% convinced on it. You give up a lot to do something like that. There are pluses and there are minuses, and I know that some of you guys, excuse me, some of you guys think the same thing, and I can appreciate that. And I am keeping all that into consideration 100%, and I am heavily thinking about that. Some of my other friends, they're like, man, that trucking is so toxic, and they lie to get you in the door, and they play all these games, and once you get in that truck, you are subject to their bull crap. You know what I mean? They also think, why would somebody my age be living in a car? Why shouldn't I some of them think that I should be further along in life. And the way that I think personally is it's not about all the materials things that you have. It's about, are you happy? I know some people that literally they work so much because they spend so much, and they most of the time they feel very unhappy and unfulfilled with what they do. despite me not making very much money doing gig apps with Uber Eats and DoorDash and stuff, I actually like the job, the aspect of it. I like driving. I like getting people their food. You know what I mean? I feel like that's very rewarding. You know, it's not very lucrative because these markets are very saturated and people aren't very generous with tipping. However, it does feel really good for me to do that stuff. You know, one of the places that I was a truck driver at was this specifically alcohol. You know, and I hate, you know, I don't drink. That didn't feel good at all. Like when I was OTR, I did a refrigerator, which we call reefer, and that was food. And then also there was times where I did vaccines, and I did I did all sorts of loads. Mostly it was going to grocery stores, and it was going to big warehouses first, and then it would be distributed for local drivers to do the last mile, I guess. But I did a lot of deliveries, and that felt really, really good. You know, knowing like I'm transporting food. You know, I'm grabbing a berry load from Northern California or from like middle of California and taking it all the way to the East Coast so they could have a bunch of strawberries. You know, I like the way that felt. When I was picking up alcohol and doing that local stuff, I did not like that. It didn't feel very fulfilling. You know, I understand people use it and whatnot, but it just didn't give me that good gratification. But getting a little bit sidetracked on that. What does my family think? So I'm just talking about specifically my family. My mom's not very happy about it. You know, she knows that I'm strong, and she knows that I have a good head on my shoulders, and that one of my strongest things is me using my brain. Nobody's perfect. People do make mistakes, and I'm one of them. She just wants me to be happy and would like for me to feel, she would want me to do better. The rest of my family I don't really talk to very much. Of course, I do love them. They kind of all went their own ways. If you want to know like some crazy stuff, I got a video that's traumatic childhood that really explains a lot of stuff. So maybe check that video out if you haven't seen it yet. But as far as them, they're all grown. I was the youngest of my family. They're all grown. They're all married. Well, I think all of them but one is married, and they're along with their lives. You know what I mean? We haven't talked very much for a very long time, which is unfortunate. But it's kind of how I think people moved forward. Like we grew up really, really bad, and we had some very traumatic stuff happen, including myself. And one of the ways is, I think, by not being around them, that they're not reminded of stuff. You know what I'm saying? At least that's the impression I get. However, I do love them, and I do love my mom very much. And they're, she's not very happy with it. My friends, they're all married and they all have kids. 99% of them. I don't have any kids, not married. If you probably watched my traumatic childhood video, you'd understand why I've been single for a long time, and probably going to be single the rest of my life, which is totally fine with me. I'm okay with that. It's not like I have anything to offer anybody anyways. I'm a great friend, but in the romance thing, probably not. I can't call it. My last video, I did have some comments. I wanted to address some of the comments. Is that I think very highly of myself, and that I come off judgmental. If you don't think highly of yourself, then nobody else is going to either. You know what I mean? If I was really, really dirty and I didn't brush my teeth, and I was rummaging through trash and picking things up and being not very cleanness, and being on the disgusting side, a lot of people aren't going to want to be friends with me, and people are going to think low of me, generally speaking, right? Some people might think, man, that person's really really, really rough off, and did try to help, but for the most part, I do stuff for myself to be respectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to be clean shaven. I don't like to look homeless. I like to be presentable. I like actually having intelligent conversations. I also like having silly conversations. It all depends on my mood and the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, am I judgmental? A little bit. I could see that, but the way I who in this world isn't judgmental? You know what I mean? I don't put people down to feel better about myself. I don't do that. In fact, I don't like people like that at all. I don't go around putting people down to feel better about myself, and I also don't put people down, to think that like I'm somebody who doesn't just tell you what the problems are. I'm somebody who likes to come with solutions instead of problems, and I do think highly of myself. My friends and my family think very highly of me as well. You know, nobody's perfect. You know, maybe they, you know, I'm sure they all wish that I was doing better than I am right now, but it is what it is, and I am working towards stuff. You know, I think I have a video about my goals, and I keep getting closer to it, which is really cool. You know, not everything's gonna be a grand slam. Some of them are base hits. You know, every day I'm trying to get a W. You know what I mean? Try to feel like I'm winning every day by applying myself, and that's one thing about my friends and my family all know about me. I always apply myself. You know, I'm never just here waving a little white flag saying I surrender. You know what I mean? There is no surrender in me. There is just, you know, keep on trying. And if this isn't working, I gotta adapt, I gotta overcome. And then, you know, it's part of a journey. You know, not everything comes fast, especially for me, unfortunately. It always seems like everything is a grind. So, you know, yeah, and you know, I can go the distance. You know what I'm saying? You know, am I judgmental? Yeah, a little bit, but I don't put people down to feel better about myself. What I'm extremely judgmental on is anybody who's mistreating animals of any sort, but especially when it comes to dogs and cats. I mean, all animals shouldn't be mistreated. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not talking about a little bit mistreating. You know, like, you know, swatted with a, you know, being swatted with a newspaper because they pottied inside. And I'm talking about you hurting that animal. You're not feeding it. You know, you're not taking care of it. You know, that really bothers me. And anything with children. You know, if somebody was to do something towards a kid that was not good, yeah, I'm extremely judgmental and I don't like it at all. I also don't like things with animals, and I also don't like things where you know, picking on like weaker people. You know, like I show older people respect. You know, you don't get tough guy points for picking on a fight with a woman half your size, or, you know, like a woman in the beginning. I don't agree with that stuff. So people that are hurtful towards women, like men, you know, like if there's men being hurtful towards women, I don't like that at all. Very judgmental. I'm very judgmental on animals. You know, like if you do something bad to them, and I'm very judgmental if you try to hurt, or, you know, hurt kids. You know, I don't like any of that stuff at all. I think a lot of that. I think there's a special place in hell for most of those actions, especially things with children. And, you know, I don't like that at all, and especially things with animals. There's times where I actually think that I like animals more than people. You know, I think DMX was one of them that was like that as well. So I can relate to that. I can really relate to dogs. You know, they just want to be happy. They just want to know that they're safe. They want to know that they're loved and they're being well taken care of. And in return, they're very, very loyal. So, I mean, you know, if you had 10 of my friends, and I got more than 10 friends, but you know, I close friends I could probably count on one hand. But I do have quite a bit of friends, and you know, it's just what it is. If you asked them, there'd be a lot of different things. You know, like, what would your friends say? Let's say that, you know, your top 5 friends, or your top 3, and I don't know how many you guys have. You know, there's some people that only have 1 or 2 friends. There's people that don't have any friends at all. And, you know, whether you have a lot of friends or a little bit of friends, if you're subscribed and you're rocking with me, you're my friend, man. You know, whether a guy or a girl, you're my friend. You know, if you have issues and you need to talk to somebody, there's a comment section for a reason. I'm going to be setting up stuff, you know, that I never understood why people will leave comments on really big YouTube people, like big YouTube people's, like a big YouTube channel. Why are you leaving comments on there when that person doesn't, you know, openly admits he doesn't read it, or he says that there's too many of them? I'm going to develop a system where everybody's gets read, especially on live. You know, like, let's say that I have 2,000 or 3,000 people in there. I'm going to develop a system that I talk to everybody. You know, and I might even develop a system where you know, maybe at some point I'll get another phone, and you know, the people that rock with me can go ahead and call me. You know what I'm saying? I just live in my car. You know what I mean? You know, I think it'd be really cool to talk to you guys, and especially going live and stuff like that. So those are definitely some things that I'm open to and that I'm working towards, and I think that'd be pretty cool. But if you asked a bunch of your friends, what would they say about you? I think that my friends, there'd be some things that they would all say that all like you know, that they all agree on. Like, you know, AlienAscend is very respectful. If he gives you his word, he keeps it. You know, he does apply himself. He is honest. You know, he is. You know, he's not a liar. He's not a cheat. He's not a thief. You know, he's not a scumbag. You know, one thing for sure, I think all of them would say is, you know, he does the right thing even when nobody's looking, and that really really says a lot, because I am human. I do get tempted. I had a comment a couple days ago. Somebody said, do you ever get tempted to get high out on these streets? And the truth is no, because the way I grew up, I saw what that happened. Oh, my friends' parents that did that stuff, and some of them fell in that same trap. I know that all that would do is just hurt me. And not to mention, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't like the way it felt anyways. I don't even like Novocaine in my mouth. Like, if I had a tooth pulled and I was screaming, just no more Novocaine, just rip out my wisdom tooth. This is a few years ago. But no, I wouldn't do any of that stuff. And no, I'm not tempted. But there are other temptations. Have I I am human. The kind of temptations is, have I not had any money and been low on gas, and I'm doing a food delivery and that food smelled really good, and I wish that I was eating that cheeseburger? Of course. But would I ever take it? No. But does that thought pop in my head, like, man, I wish that was my food? Of course it does. I am human. There are other temptations, like being a crat. It's when you get angry and you get upset about something, and that's why I'm always I always try to see positive, and I am always moving forward with positivity and thinking of the best stuff. Because if you get, I feel as though if you get wrapped up in that negative mindset, you can be a crash dummy out here real quick. I will never going to be so desperate and whatnot where I would try to rob somebody. But out here where I'm at, this particular parking lot, this particular truck stop happens almost every single night, and there's always crazy stuff going on here. Last night, for example, somebody walking around with a cell phone, having a light on, going behind cars and going in front of it and looking on the ground and stuff. And I had to jump out my car to make sure that this person didn't walk behind my car, because I don't like that stuff. There's no reason for anybody to go behind me. The way I park right now, there's no reason for anybody to go behind me, and I don't like anybody getting near my car. And when things like that go on, instead of me just looking like I'm hiding in my car or whatever, I pop out, and that's my way of letting people know that you're gonna have an issue if you mess around here. You know what I mean? It's a preventative measure. You know what I'm saying? But back to what my friends would say about me is that I'm extremely loyal, extremely honest, and if we do anything to help them out, that was in my power. That I'm very smart. I don't think I've ever mentioned this. I can program in several languages. I was self-taught a long time ago. I started with QBasic, and then I went to Visual Basic 3.0, and I programmed from Visual Basic 3.0 to 6.0 Enterprise. I know how to program in Python and Java. There's some other languages that are very similar. It's it all depends on the is it event-driven? Setting up your variables and stuff like that. Now I'm not as good as I once was a long time ago, though. When I was like 12 years old, we got a computer, and we had dial-up. Excuse me, we had dial-up. I went into chat rooms and I saw people that were learning to program, and back then it was Visual Basic 3.0, and I was like, dude, I want to learn this. I remember going to the library and getting books, and that's the kind of stuff that I read. I can't read a book that I'm not learning from, like Harry Potter. That's one thing all my friends would say. Like, I could pick up a mechanic book and read the whole thing and be like, okay, now we're going to fix this. But, if it's a Harry Potter book, I can't read that. It has to be something I learn from. That's just how I am. I love those movies like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. I can listen to the audio books, but I just can't read it myself. And I have the Game of Thrones, for example. I listened to the audiobooks on that because I can't read it. I can't read it at all. But let's say it was how to program in this particular language. What's the difference between variables and statements? What is a syntax error and all that kind of stuff. That then I understand and I read it and I enjoy that stuff. That's one thing somebody all my friends would say. There'd be some of the stuff that might be different. Is it all depends on how the people are. Some people will say that I'm quiet in big groups. Then there's some groups that are like, no, AlienAscend's like the life of the party. He's laughing, he's joking, he's very thoughtful, he's very kind, and I'm very respectful. When I go eat at my friends' houses and stuff like that, like if we're having game night or something like that, I see the trash can is 90% full. I'm taking that thing and putting it in the trash can. I see that there was something didn't get picked up on the counter. I'm wiping it off. Will I help somebody with their dishes? Of course. I just don't. I think that's like almost stepping a line. It all depends on what you're comfortable with. But yeah, will I jump in there and help do their dishes? Of course. If they're saying, hey, I'm going to be organizing my garage this week, but I needed this box. I need this box out. Sure, I'll go ahead and grab it. I'm very helpful that way, and I don't do it because I want something in return. That's just how I am. I treat people the way I want to be treated. When I had my apartment and I had friends come over and stuff like that, and after we cooked a bunch of stuff, and the people that actually went in the kitchen to give me a hand and stuff like that, I really appreciated that. It felt really nice. So I'm kind of like the same way. When I went in trucking school, I was thinking I was going to be extremely quiet. Like, I didn't know what to expect. I thought that I wasn't going to make any friends, and that I was there to do something. Like, I was having a very steward mind, and the steward mind was like, I'm going to go there, I'm going to learn these trucks, I'm going to learn how to do this is going to be a new career and stuff. And I thought everybody was going to be the same way. However, when I got there, it was totally different. Some of my closest friends are people that I met in trucking school, and we all helped each other out so much, and we all got along, and I really opened myself up, and I was being myself. I was just being very genuine, and there's times where I get really silly and I say some real funny stuff. I just do. I wish that I could convey that better on YouTube. Maybe in the video, maybe in the future I can situations will pop up where I can show my sense of humor, or maybe when I'm on live, us all laughing and joking, having a good time. That'd be cool, but I made tons of friends, and I remember one of my friends, this one guy, he had kind of like a dirty look on his face, like he looked like he didn't want to be approached, and I don't remember what it was, but I said something and it made that guy laugh. And I wasn't trying to make that guy laugh. I was just like talking about a truck, about something. I said something, and then he started laughing, and I could tell the guy was standoffish. And I'm somebody who's welcoming. I'm like, hey, bro, come over here. Hey, what do you think about this? And then and I was just just being my normal self. My one of my friends that was right there afterwards, he's like, dude, I would have never talked to that guy. He looked like he was pissed off. He's like, you really can talk to anybody and make everybody feel involved. And I thought that was a huge compliment, and I didn't notice that. I thought that was really cool. And he's like, yeah, and this particular person who's talking to me, he was on the outside where he didn't even know anybody really at the truck school. He just came out there a little bit later than everybody else. Was a little bit socially awkward. It was very shy. And when he came out there, I was just talking, like, oh, hey, what's going on, man? He saw me, pre-trip in the truck. I saw him driving. He needed some help and pointers. I wasn't being a super trucker about it. Like, hey, this is how you do it, and blah blah blah. He seeked my help. He said, hey man, when you were doing that alley dock, how are you setting it up? What do you think about this? What pointers would you give me? And at this time, I had already did close to 4 weeks of permit student driving. I just came back to the school to learn how to back and to take my test. But there was a lot of people that were ahead of me, so I had to I was out there a little bit longer than I needed to be, but it was okay. I was getting experience, and I was learning how to back better. Nonetheless, while that's going on, I'm just being friendly with people. So I guess I don't want to ramble on too much, but yeah, my friends and my family love me very much, and I love them very much. I think that they all want me to be happy. They all want me to do, to be very successful in life, and I believe that I am going to be very successful in life. YouTube, my YouTube, might be a very small channel now, but there's no telling that, what one of my videos go viral, or just over time, me grinding and stuff like that. I have seen a lot of people's opportunities in life change from this, and one of the cool things about it is, and this is why, I'm just being myself, and I'm happy to make videos. I just love the support, and that's the one thing when I first started YouTube, I didn't think of like, hey, I want my YouTube to be like this. I'm just being myself. And then when I started getting support, subscribers, and people were dropping comments, and people were talking to me a little bit and giving me very supportive, hang in there, you got this, stay warm, those kind of comments, that really touched my heart. And I feel like we're all a big group here. and you know that it's totally awesome. And that's something I didn't expect. But when it happened, it kind of fueled me, like, you know, hey, I want to put a video out every single day. And sometimes I do it, and sometimes I don't. I guess I'm not perfect. One thing I talked about on my live is it takes me 3 hours to upload a 20-minute video to YouTube unless I'm using a friend's internet. So if I'm using my cell phone internet, it takes 3 hours, and in 3 hours it drains my battery a lot. I have to run my car to charge my phone, but I still try to make it happen. So you know, that's the video. If you want to go ahead and show support or show love, my Cash App is AlienAscend. I'll put it in the description. I ask that you go ahead and subscribe. I need to run those watch time hours up to actually monetize, so I have enough subscribers. What I don't have is enough watch time. So please check out my videos that you haven't watched at all, that you think you might enjoy. You know, share my videos to your friends and family and people that you know. And I want to thank you so much.